What up? It's 92.9 WDUP, New London's home of timeless hip-hop and R&B. And we have the talented, Grammy-nominated, award-winning singer. And by the way, she still look delightful and bad to this day, Chante Moore. How are you doing?
I'm delightful and bad. I love it.
Hey, Chante, man, that's my line.
I'm doing good. I'm doing really well. How about you?
I'm doing all right. That's my line I've been using lately, trying to, holler at some women. Delightful, they don't hear that normally. But, yeah, let's talk about
your... delightful's not the common thing, but I like it.
I know that. So, for those who's living under a rock, give everybody your background real quick.
Oh boy. First single, 1992. Been singing doing one job for since then. I'm still here. That's it. Still here.
Yeah. So, out of all the music you made, as a matter of fact, prior to actually you calling in, I was doing my due diligence, trying to get my question together, and I forgot about this record. I haven't heard this record in a minute. Candlelight and You, I kept running it back, waiting for you to call, you know what I'm saying? So, what was that like? How you put that record together with Keith Washington?
Well, Lainey Stewart and Tony Haynes actually were a producer duo at the time, and we did several songs together, and that was my first album. We wrote that song, and then we were trying to think, okay, whose voice would work? And his voice was Keith Washington's voice was so raspy and masculine, kind of like a Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, that could work, because I have a lighter, airier kind of voice, and we didn't want someone to be in that same realm of lightness or too gruff or too whatever. It just seemed like it was going to work. And Lul reached out and he joined us, and it was magical. It really was. It was a magical record. Just the way it sounds when it comes on just puts you in an instant mood of joy and peace, and like it just brightens up everything when it comes on. I just love the music. So, it just worked out. It worked out really, really well. And it's to this day, people ask me to sing it. I'm not here he's not here. How am I sing the duet? I end up doing it anyway. I pretend like I'm Keith. Oh yeah.
So like, do you tighten your voice up, like try to make it sound manly and all that?
I do.
Word?
I'm like, keep holding on. Yeah, I do. It is so much fun. I love teasing him. He's like my brother. I love it. I love teasing him.
So besides Keith Washington, like name some of your favorite collabs that you did throughout your career.
Oh gosh, there haven't been many. I done one with him. I did actually two with him. I Love You was the other one that Keith and I did together. I sang with Will Downing a couple times. My ex-husband and I did a whole album of duets, and there are a few that are absolutely great. I really enjoyed that. Born Again was one of my favorites on that record. Things That Lovers Do album. So, that's it. I haven't done a whole lot of collabs.
Hey, now I got to talk about this one record. I got to do it. Contagious.
Go ahead and do it.
You know what I'm saying? You're contagious. Low down dirty woman.
I don't know if I call that a duet, but I guess it is.
Yo, I'm saying, why you do Mr. Biggs dirty like that? Talk about the whole, process of putting that record together. I think you did Mr. Biggs dirty. I watched that video on Mr. Biggs' side. Mr. Biggs put out the sword. He should have chopped.
Me too. She was low down dirty. It's true. He called her that too. Low down dirty woman. Back to where you came from.
Back to where you came from.
I was like, wait, I want to be that girl in this video.
Nah, but you did a great job on that.
Still fun.
But talk about the whole process of putting that record together. Who came up with the concept? Talk about that.
Yeah, that was R. Kelly. He's a musical genius. He really is a smart and talented man. And regardless of whatever he's done, all that is fair needs to happen, and whatever that is. But the music is just he had an idea. We were never even in the same recording studio. None of us. All three of us were in separate places. Yeah. And Robert is just a genius in that. He was like, okay, Chante, do this part and then sing me right here. At that point, sing this part. I was like, okay. So I was by myself. Shut up. I was by myself singing. That was on me, by myself. And then he was like, okay. And then right here, he's going to say this, and then you say that. Yeah. So that's how it happened. And then we all got together. The first time we got together doing the song was when we were shooting the video that day. And it was like shooting a movie. It was great. It was just, we had a ball. It was really a wonderful day. It was great fun.
Hey, and you could punt on this question right here, but you have a record called Shanti's Got a Man. For my fellas out here listening, does Shanti still got a man? Or you could say, next question, No pressure.
I do not have a man right now. No.
Ooh. Hey, yo, by the way, Chante still look nice, by the way. She looked delightful. You know what I'm saying?
Delightful. I love it.
So let's talk about some of your songwriting. You're a songwriter. Talk
Okay.
about your process of actually songwriting. And, have you written songs for others as well?
I wish I would have done more of that in my career. There were a few songs, and being an artist, it's hard to let go of music that is supposed to be yours. And I had a couple of offers a few times, and I wish, looking back, I wish I'd have unfolded my fingers and let them have it. Mm-hmm. There were a couple specifically that Vanessa Williams wanted, and I really should have.
Yo, you kind of look like Vanessa Williams, by the way. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's just like, what I mean? Sometimes I just blurt things out. That's my style of interview, and I apologize.
That's okay.
I get a little
Go ahead, no problem.
Tourette style. But yeah, you kind of look like Vanessa Williams. Like, y'all two of the baddest in the 90s. I had to throw that out there, but go ahead, my bad.
No, I love her. She was great, and I wish I would have let her have it, but I did. But but yeah, I continue to write because it's part of my process as an artist. I really enjoy that process, from being alone in my room to recording a song in the studio and then hearing it in my car and just blasting it before the whole world judges it, and makes it be or not be a hit, and it really. I always equate it to having children. You think your child is beautiful and perfect, and they are to you. But to other people, they're like, "Oh, that baby ugly. Yep. I don't like it."
On Facebook is the worst.
It becomes. What you say?
Now I say on Facebook it's the worst. Some of the babies look like they need to stay in the womb and cook a little longer. Cut my bad.
It's so hard, yeah. But as an artist, you want everybody to love your baby and to be kind to them and to accept them in and think they're beautiful. But that's not always what happens. So letting go of it is the part that you have to just let it be. But I still am writing. The Rise of the Phoenix. I met some people who we began writing together. Little Ronnie is the producer of many, many stars, and he's just an amazing writer in person and really great producer. And his crew of people I met then, Sick Pen is one of them. We call him Sick Pen because he's sick with that pen. Okay. Even though his name is Louis Sky. But if you look him up, he's Sick Pen on but Instagram. Mm-hmm. And Kelly the Voice is also a great writer. You can find him also on Instagram. So we all have been writing together quite a bit. And from Rise of the Phoenix, we did 104 together as well. And now the next single and the next wave of music is coming very, very soon.
Oh, yeah. And we definitely we definitely gonna get to that. But from your startup, how did you patent your music style? Is there anybody you kind of draw your inspiration from as far as like your style of music?
Well, I mean, I love Prince. When I have always listened to gospel music when I was a little girl. My father is and was a preacher. He still is. Mm-hmm. And my mom has passed on, but we weren't allowed to listen to anything but gospel music in the house. Okay. So my brother's 7 years older than I. So when he was over 18, he was playing the drums, and he would go downstairs in the garage, and my parents let him play whatever he was playing in the garage. So when he turned 18, he could play what he wanted to. So my first exposure to R&B, I was 18, like 11 or 12, something like that, maybe 13 years old. So the first thing I heard was Prince, and I just lost my mind. So he's been my favorite since I was 12. But I had to catch up on all the Motown. I had to catch up on Shaka Khan and so many greats that were out before. But it was just a flood of beautiful, empowering music that made me stretch so fast, so far. But that's who I initially was inspired by. It was just gospel music. Tremaine Hawkins was the one I was just in love with. Andre Crouch, the Hawkins family. Those were the two main influences musically. And then it all just began to unfold from Prince on.
So for Prince on, your upbringing, was it look like, all right, you listen to the devil's music? Was it like that? Was it that strict, or just, a strict?
Well, no, it was just, they didn't want, and some stuff, I don't know if you're from the church or not, but it really kind of just, some stuff messed with your spirit. Right. Some stuff ain't just for everyone to listen to. And being a parent now, I get it. Because some stuff, my kids, as they've grown up, I've heard some stuff, and I'm like, well, if you don't turn that mess off, because there's, the mumble rap and the cussing and all that stuff, and things aren't as bad as they they weren't as bad when I was a kid as they have been as my children have grown up.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand the generation gap, that you don't understand it as much. And you want things to be empowering and uplifting to your children, and the mindset that you want your kids to have is all about what is inside. You can't let the world raise your children. And the music is what they put in their ears and in their spirits every day, all the time.
Right.
So you want to be able to regulate that for as long as possible. So I get it now why they were so strict.
Mm-hmm.
But I no, it wasn't the devil's music as much as was, they wanted me to be filled with the Spirit of God and
right.
positivity and strength and love, and not just sex and be running chasing after boys and there'll be enough of that when you grow up.
So you have a lot of great records. Do you feel like you get your just due?
Yeah, clearly. I get what God wants me to have. That's what my parents did instill in my life, is the trust that whatever comes for you, whatever is for you, is going to be yours. And no, I've not achieved the level of success that Chante, I myself personally, have thought I would. However, my life's not over yet. I sing better than I used to me. I know who I am more as an artist and as a woman. I'm more understanding who I am as an artist. I understand my purpose as a person. So, yeah, what's for me will be for me. I'll get it. Or I'll pass on and get what my reward is in heaven.
Damn. That's powerful right there, Chante. That's dope. But, let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on the current state of R&B? What's your thoughts? I feel like R&B artists try to sound like rappers, and rappers try to sound like R&B artists. I feel like the game's messed up right now. What's your thoughts on that?
You're right. Except you have to add one more element, is that it used to be black music, and black music was recreated by white artists, and then it became pop music. And so it's a little interesting to try to navigate through that as a black woman or black artist, because of the color of my skin, my music went on one radio station, one kind of radio station, where, I'm soulful. I'm not Mary J, but I'm soulful. But I think maybe more people would have been able to appreciate my sound if radio was one color instead of 3 or 4. But what I think is that it's about who you are musically that will last. If you stay true to yourself, and live without regret, then I'll be okay. But I do think that R&B is something that it revives itself over and over again. It depends on who comes out, because I know I listen to her, and
she's dope.
She's R&B.
Yeah, dope. Yep.
I listen to a lot of people, and they're R&B. What's his name?
See, that's the problem. You can't remember his name. That's the problem.
I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
The one who sang the red blurred lines. What's his name again? I forgot his name right there.
Oh, Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke. That wasn't nothing but R&B.
Yeah.
That was Marvin Gaye again.
Yeah.
That's what that was. His whole album was Marvin Gaye again.
Yeah.
But it's a new generation. We all have to accept that there's nothing new under the sun. We can keep trying to pretend like we made up something and created something. We're not recreating the wheel. It's music.
Right.
It's recreating music. We take styles and flavors of everybody that we've heard, because that's all we can do is be influenced. Unless you live under a rock and don't hear nothing and make some music, then I want to hear that.
Yeah.
But I think it's always a matter of taking the influences, and it's like Kool-Aid. You mix one with the other, and then you create something that's new and fresh, and that's you.
Right.
So that's okay with me.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of R&B, and I'm kind of pissed off that there's no more baby making. Now there's no more baby making music. What would it take to make baby making music? I'm still trying to play Jodeci, and you know what I'm saying, Jagged Edge. And what do, in your opinion, Chante Moore's opinion, what do you think it'll take to bring baby making music back? Because everybody making babies off of like trap music right now. That's why we all messed up right now.
You're right. Well, I will say 2 things. We don't dig hard enough to find who's making baby making music. There is R&B out there. There is good R&B out there. We have to search for it. I can't say that I know how to search for it all the time, because it used to be that the DJ would find a good artist. That DJ would play their music. They go to the B-side. They go to songs that were not the singles, and they would help develop our ears as the listeners to go, oh my God, listen, this dude is new and listen to his record. They would school us and teach us what was good. Now there's program directors. Now there's even hardly no program directors. Now it's 12 songs on the radio every day, all day, same 12 songs.
We don't do that.
So what we have to do is empower ourselves and search for the music and be supportive. Look and check and take the social media, take it and learn. Okay, find what those music. When I find somebody, I'm going, who is that? When I'm in the car, I'm like, send me that person's name and send me that music so I can learn to find out who they are and support them. Because there is good music out there. You don't hear my music on the radio every day. I think I make good baby music.
I think I do. Hey, we play Candlelight and You, and we play Love's Taking Over.
That was in 1992.
Yeah, you right.
Love Taking Over and Candlelight and You. Both of them was out in 1992. I still got to live off more music than Love Taking Over and Candlelight and You. And I have music that is sexy and current sounding and without compromising who I am. But I can't live on Candlelight and You, and neither should you. Because there's a lot of music that I've made that's beautiful. So you just got to go and get it.
So let's talk about upcoming projects. Talk about, some of your latest records you put out. Let's talk about that. Let's get that out. That's part of the purpose why we got you on here.
Well, let me go back a little bit to The Rise of the Phoenix. Came out 2 years ago. Great music on that. The same people that I wrote with that, I made another record came after that, which was called 104. That came out great, baby music. The whole album, except for one song, is all slow songs. Trust me, you want to get 104 right now. Because if you want baby making music, go get 104.
Okay.
New music coming very soon. The first single we're going to put out is called Hold It Down. Again, very sweet, very sexy. It's really about those supporting one another and keeping each other supported. It really isn't about making love so much as it is that being loved. Being supportive is being loved, showing love. Whether the person is in jail, if they're in the military, or if they're out of town, or you're a single parent, whatever the case may be, we have to hold it down for one another. And it's not a political song at all. Okay. It's about being there for one another. So.
I heard that. Go check those projects out. And let's talk about your first I made it moment. I like to ask all of, our guests, what was the point when you was on the come up? You was, wide-eyed, bushy tail and all that, you know what I mean? And then you finally felt like, I'm a big deal out here. What was that point for you?
Gosh. I don't know. There were so many moments that were surreal, and I felt like, my dreams are coming true at this very moment. From being signed in the first place, sitting in MCA Records in 1991, having the realization that I am sitting here with the head of MCA Records. Oh my God. From that moment to being in the studio with George Duke and BB Winans and the other writers that were on the project with me, to the next moment of recording and shooting the video in Paris with Antoine Fuqua, who was the one who did Training Day. He was the director of Training Day. He did my first and second video, Love Taking Over, and It's All Right. From those moments to being on Showtime at the Apollo, singing and looking at the stump from the rubbing on it before I went out there, and having the Apollo audience show me love, and not knowing if it was going to be boo or not. There's so many moments of being on Soul Train with Keith Washington, and having the Soul Train audience show me love as well, and being on there's been moments after moments and times after time, being in the studio with Babyface, making the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, and singing with Whitney and Patti LaBelle and Prince, and I can't even give you one moment, because I still feel like the moments keep happening.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you the question. I always want to give you the platform to talk your ish, So talk about all the, the accolades you got, awards, Image Awards, Grammy nominations. I want you to kind of pound your chest a little bit real quick, Chante, if you don't mind.
That's really not who I am. I really don't keep tabs like that. I keep more tabs on the people and how I feel about it.
Right.
I don't really pay attention to it like that, because those moments go by, and they may be reasons why I'm relevant to some, but the things that make me relevant now is continuing to do what I do for a living and being able to sustain myself and being able to work with new artists and looking forward to making changes musically in the world. And I don't know, that makes more difference to me than looking back at and saying, oh, I did that, or I've been here, I've done that. If you don't recognize and remember, then you can forget. I'll make a new memory for you.
Right. So advice for any singers coming up. We talk about, your I made it moment. There's people still trying to find their I made it moment. Is there any advice you can offer to any singers coming up?
Well, things are a little different than they used to be, but I would say more than anything, get your vision first. Make sure you prepare yourself before you step out in front of people. I believe now it's easier to get in front, quote unquote, in front of people because of social media and having those YouTube stations and things like that. You can make a lot of noise before anybody ever sees you. Demo tapes used to be 2 or 3 people you hand them to. Now you can have millions of followers before you get signed, which is amazing because you won't even have to necessarily be signed to a record label. But I would say get a team behind you that you can trust, who will work as hard as you are, and do your best because it lasts forever.
Right. So you're a mother, and I was doing my due diligence. You have a son, so you still got it. You still look like Chante Moore from the '90s. Like, do all your son's friends got are they eyeballing you, or you know what I'm saying? How's that working out?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes my son will let it out. He was like, God, my friends are tripping, Mom. Sometimes it happened more at his, like at the track meets and football games and things like that. I'll be like, okay, babe, Mom will be at the car. And they're like, hold up, wait a minute. That's your mom? So some days he's like, ew, stop. That's my mom. Yes, it's my mom. Stop it.
Hey.
But now he's a little older, so he gets it. And he's like, okay, Mom, I'm glad you look good because I've seen their moms.
So, can you offer any advice to soccer moms out there who might be on the borderline? Like, you drink a lot of alkaline water? Like, what do you do to keep it together? Drink a whole bunch of prune juice?
That's hilarious. I think first part has to be good genes. You got to have some good genes. You can't have old looking mom and old looking daddy and be young looking you. I think it really takes some good genes first to start with. And then it is about taking care of yourself. I've been either modeling or singing, and I had a very, very specific kind of a mother. She didn't let me go outside and play rough like most girls. She was like, do not come in here with no scarred up knees, okay? You hear me? And I was like, yes, Mama, I got you. So if I came back with something, if I fell down, she'd be mad at me because I got a scar anywhere on my body. She was like, girl, you can't be doing that. One day you gonna be a star. I was like, yeah, Mama, but I want to go outside and play. So every night she made me wash my face. She'd be mad at me if I didn't. So there was a way I was brought up that my mother had a vision for who I was going to be. And so she brought me up thinking about making sure that tomorrow you look the part. You had to be good on the inside as well and be strong on the inside, which she also instilled inside of me. But my mother was very much a woman who made sure that I took care of myself. So washing my face daily is still part of, I hear her voice. She's passed on, but I still hear her go, if you don't get up out that bed and wash your face, what does it take, 5 minutes? Go wash your face. So I steam my face every night. I wash it every night. I make sure that I eat well. And now that alkaline water is out, I do have that now. I drink it. But, in San Francisco, we just drank from tap water. It wasn't nothing that, who would have thought to ever bottle water? Stuff came out of the sink. I don't know.
So, listen. So, Chante Moore telling y'all to exfoliate your inside and your outsides. You know what I'm saying?
Do that.
But I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I can talk to you all day. I remember watching BET Midnight Love with Donnie Simpson or whoever was hosting that joint. Used to be on there, so you know what I'm saying, it's a great moment for us. You know what I'm saying, but just give everybody the info of your upcoming projects, your social media, anything else you got going on, any upcoming shows or anything of that nature.
Well, because of the COVID, whatever this is called when we're quarantined, the shows have been moved to 2021, and it was indefinite at that point. Now things are opening back up, so the calls are starting to come in, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. But I'll keep everybody posted. My Instagram is at I am Chante Moore, and my Facebook is Chante Moore Fans. There is a personal one, but go to the fans because that's the one I use more often.
Okay.
What else was I going to tell you about? The single is coming very soon. I don't have the exact date. I don't want to tell you what, and it changed. So stay listening close because it's coming very soon. It's called Hold It Down. I also want another song. I want to have like an A and B selection, like an A and B side, A and B something. I don't know.
That classic feel. Yeah.
Is that what did you call it?
No, I said that classic feel, the A, B side. That's like back in the 90s, you got the A side, B side. Yeah.
No. That's what I want to do. It really is what I want to do. So we'll see if I can make it happen because there's no physical CDs anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure how we're going to do it.
I ain't buying albums since 03. So yeah. But,
yeah.
Oh, matter of fact, and that, like, yeah, and normally I ask all the rappers this, like top 5 dead or alive. Like, what's your top 5 dead or alive singers?
It's hard to pick.
And see, that's how you know you're a singer. You said pick like with the harmonize on it. It's like you a natural, but my bad. Go ahead. That was a trip moment. My fault.
I grew up listening to gospel music, and it is still one of my favorites. I think the voices of Tina and Tina Campbell is one of my favorite voices. I know she's gospel, so you may not know her voice. I do like her. She has a beautiful voice, a nice tone.
Yeah.
I love it that she's talented, that she can play instruments. That's pretty amazing. Still, I think Beyonce is one of the best entertainers that we got, period. I love Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got style galore.
Yeah.
I love that. I think PJ Morton is amazing live. He's just amazing. I think his music on recording is good, but he's even better live. So, because I think it takes more than just recording a song. It really does take you, for me, to be impressed, you have to go from the recording to the live, and that has to be up to par. So, those so far are my favorites right now.
That's a great list. I don't know about the PJ guy. I never heard of him, but I gotta go check that out.
PJ Morton, give me a doggone break.
I don't know. I ain't in the cool crowd. I never heard of homie, but I'm gonna go check him out. But
okay, go and check him out. You're gonna like him. You talked about R&B.
Yeah.
He is R&B. He has been nominated the last, I think, 3 years for the Grammys, the best R&B artist. So
PJ Morton.
Check him out.
I'll definitely check it out.
PJ Morton.
Okay.
He's good stuff. But that's really what it's about, is word of mouth, letting people know who's good, who you think is good, so they can go and check them out. So go check them out. All right,
before I let you go, though, like some of your producers, like who the producers that you actually dealt with that you had the best, like, chemistry with?
Wow, there's so many good ones. The latest and greatest definitely is his handle on Instagram is Beats for the Stars, BEATS 4. Letter the number 4, the Stars. He just K Michelle, a lot of other people, but K Michelle's one of the newest ones he's done. But it's just what I love is that he's a musician. He plays 6 different instruments, and he can sing, and he produces, he plays, he does all of it. And that's what I love when I'm in the studio, is people who are not trying to be impressed with me. Right. They're trying to impress upon me to be great. And I like being pushed harder than the last guy I pushed, really the last producer, because it really makes me a better person. It makes me a better entertainer. And recording, you want that stays forever. It really does stay forever. I'm trying to think of who else is my absolute favorite. Of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis have always been.
Oh yeah, they all-time greats. Yep, absolutely.
Ultimate in production. I'm trying to think who else I've worked with lately. I was in the studio. I started with the best, which was George Duke. To me, he taught me how to just relax in the studio and deliver myself, my heart, my soul into the record, because people feel that or they don't. Yeah. And he used to always say, hey, if you don't let them know, you won't know. So let them know. He called me Miss Tay. I loved it. And God rest his soul. I miss him a lot. But so those are my absolute top favorites so far that I can think of anyways. I'm sure there's somebody when I hang up, I'm going to go, darn.
I know, right? So, yeah. And also, we about to wrap this up, but that bitter video, that joint fire. Oh Lord, that video is amazing. Sheesh. I like that. Like
Gee,
that.
I wonder why you like that.
Yeah. But hey, Chante, just hang on for one more moment after you wrap this up. But this is 929. It's a pleasure to have Chante Moore call in. She's an all-time great. You know, great records, great accolades. She's one of the best that did it. So she put a stamp in this game. So Chante, thank you for calling in. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right.